Hi, we are Group 214 and our group members are Savin, Sanjay and Amir. So we are going to do a presentation on national culture and general framework. This presentation is about the recognition of national cultures of multinational and transnational companies operating in Australia, China and the United States. National culture. So what is national culture? National culture refers to all the values shared, the assumptions made, the initiatives taken, and the adherence to the beliefs of the countries implemented in the organization for the achievement of set goals and objectives. Different countries use different approaches towards working, and this gets individually affected by the challenges and the risks in the way. National culture of Australia, China, and the United States are different in different aspects. Understanding national culture is very important for any organization operating in the business environment globally. National culture is very important for the operation of multinational business as it gives an idea of the cultural differences within various groups. The difference in culture of language is very important to understand for as it can act as a barrier if neglected and act as a catalyst if implicated properly. So let's talk about the cultural national culture and framework of Australia. There is different national culture than other countries in Australia. Australian culture is affected by the European culture heritage. Australia accepts different paths of every culture to fit in multinational organization. The indigenous Australian culture is affected by the European culture. Once again, I have already said that Australian culture is affected by the European culture. Power distance is observed to be very low and weak. It is also noticed that the national culture of multinational companies in Australia values the steady behavior of a person. They respect the traditions and are stable in nature and have an opposing behavior towards fragility and preservant nature. Now, I would like to call Savin to give his insights on the national culture of China.
I'm going to present the rest of the slides. As we know, China is a growing economy, so lots of multinational companies are operating over there. So it's very important to learn about the inside culture of the China. The Chinese multinational company shows a great power index, great power index in their workplace. As they're in that workplace, the elders are respected more than the young individuals. The second point is the market of China is one of the major forces in the international market where the multinational company understand the national culture to attain success. Most of the Chinese multinational companies follow the Western philosophies of economy in order to be successful. It is also stated as the socialist market economy. The third point, the Chinese culture in the multinational companies give importance to the goal of the group or the goal of the whole organization, rather instead of giving importance to the goal of the individual person. And the China and its multinational companies focuses more on the long-term goals rather than its short-term goals. The the national culture of China observes the distinguished behavior of men and women at work and at home. Their gender roles are clearly defined, and what they are going to do is also specifically designated. Thank you. I'd like to call my friend Amir for the rest of the presentation.
Go.
Thank you, Sobin, and I would like to continue the national culture of US, which is different and unique. The national culture of US is defined as highly individualistic, economy. The US lags behind in the collectivism index of identification of national culture. It focuses on the individualistic approach more than collective approach. The individualistic dimensions are found to be higher in the US economy. US practices the freedom of speech in national culture. The LTO of the US economy is less as it focuses on the attainment to the short-term goal, focusing on the quicker results. The individualistic index of US is also higher because it implements strategies which is which fulfills the goals of individual first and then attainment of goals in the collective sphere. The power distance index of US is lower, which means that the power distance distribution in multinational companies are done equally, and there are less impactful members in the institutions. In terms of wealth and prestigious traits, the masculinity versus the femininity index is intermediate, where the national culture highly is masculinist in nature. The uncertainty avoidance index of national culture of the multinational company in US is low. The functions and roles of men and women are designated. The men gain the position of power, whereas women act the assistants. The US culture is less tolerance of the ambiguous and uncertain situations. The managers in the multinational companies of US are higher in assertiveness and orientation of performance when compared to the managers, the multinational companies operating in other countries. The way of interaction and communication is straightforward. The US organizations have their results direct and the focus on straightforward. Pause.
Go.
And finally, for conclusion, it can be concluded that national culture of different countries varies but are of great significance to determine the functioning of the organizations, their limitations leading to failure, and reasons which foster the growth and development. Thank you.